What's up, my poker players? Hope you guys are pulling in some big pots on the cash games and winning tourneys. Today, we've got part 2 of TCashMoney's tournament win. We're going to go over most of the final table here, starting with this hand right here. So Tcash has Jack 4 spades on the button. Folds around to him. We've got 9,000 in antes and 18,000 in blinds. So this is a great chance to pick up a big chunk of chips with just a steal. So he makes it a little bit bigger than 2x. I like the bet size. And we get a call from the guy who's dominating the tournament in the small blind. He's got a ton of chips. He might not be the best one to try to steal against. You mentioned this in your notes that he does make a lot of loose calls. Flop comes out pretty dry. You've got a queen high rainbow, and he comes out and min bets this. You've got backdoor, straight, and flush draws. And you come out and raise here. I like this. It puts him on a big time pressure play. He pretty much can only call queens or better here because you're representing a very strong hand. And if you can get a read on his fold to raise, I think this is a great spot to put in a raise on him. A lot of the times you're just going to pick up the pot right here. It's a gutsy play, man, but I like it. He, however, does make a call. Now you're one away from the flush, and he comes back and min bets you again. And yeah, you're getting odds on the call just for the flush draw here. So I like that call. And you wind up hitting the jack on the river, and he min bets you again. And you pretty much just have to call this one. If you were to come back over the top, you're only going to get called by hands that beat you. So I think this is a good call here. Pretty much the only move you can make. And you wind up picking up the pot. He had sevens. Put that one in your notes that this player, Dave the Wave, is going to be calling flop raises with less than second pair. See, this guy is going to be calling really light. He put you on nothing but a bluff there. He had to. That's pretty crazy. Good pickup, though. Now, you might have the table image as the type of player who's going to be playing pretty loose and bluffing often, because a lot of people are going to take notes on that play that you just made. So I think that's a good spot to maybe tighten up a little bit and to, get your value in with your value type hands. So now we're 5-handed on the final table, and it folds around to you. We've got 34,000 in blinds and antes, and you just jam all in. It's a perfect spot to jam all in. You do have sixes, which makes it even better. We already know Dave the Wave is going to be calling light. He folds, and the big blind calls in couch cushions. And he called with ace 4 offsuit. That is a very loose call as well. So we know that player is going to be calling light, and probably a lot of just ace blank hands he's going to be calling with. So you can definitely take advantage of that one later on in the tourney. And I already know how this tourney winds up, so you take advantage of that one a little bit further along. We'll get to that though. Now we've got 42-5 in chips or blinds and antes. Folds around to the small blind, who makes a raise into you, and you jam all in. That's a tough play. D Nice pretty much pot committed himself. I can't believe he made a fold there with putting in almost 25% of his stack. That's almost a call with any two cards there with that large of a bet into you. But you're gonna take it down. I don't know what you had. If it was a strong hand, good pickup. If it was a steal, better pickup. Oh my. Still at the same level of 42-5 in chips in blinds and antes. Folds around to you in the small blind, and you have the loose table image, and you have aces this time, so this works out absolutely perfect for you. Raising into Dave the Wave, he of course makes a call, and holy shit, look at that flop. You probably just shit your pants, man. That's great. That's 2 quad aces in this tournament. That's insane. Good slow play. That's the only way you're gonna make money off of this hand, and what a bet. That's amazing. Yeah, donation. Thanks, Dave the Wave. So now we have King Jack offsuit on the button. Folds around to us. We are, of course, going to be betting here. And we get a call. Checks the Jack high flop. We've got Jacks, King kicker. A lot of draws out there. We've got some straight draws. We've got some flush draws. And you come on bet a little bit smaller than half size pot. I like that bet sizing. And you get check raised. Right here, you're on a tough spot. You have to think about what hands this player could be check raising and how often this player check raises. One of the stats that I keep is flop raise one showdown percentage, which will tell you how often this player is check bluff raising or check semi bluff raising. And we don't have stats on this player. I think most of the time this is going to be a very strong hand from any player that's good enough to make it to the final table. Once in a while you'll get a fish that'll make it, a long ways, and once in a while you'll get a regular who will, check semi bluff here. But even against a lot of those drawing hands, you're going to wind up being a coin flip. I think you should fold this hand here with the king jack offsuit, and you come back over the top, and he does make a call and shows trip fives, set of fives. That's a tough loss. Pretty incredible that you came back after that one, man. That was a big blow to your chip stack. I do think there is a good chance you can get away from that hand. I think he's only going to be check raising very strong hands as well as a couple very strong draws. So now we're down to 4 players. We got 40,000 in blinds and antes, and you are to the point where you're just going to be shoving, and that is what you do with the king 10 offsuit, and you wind up winning a pot there against queen high. That worked out well. Now we're looking at pocket 2s from the small blind. Blinds and antes are up. We are now at 48,000, which leaves you slightly less than 4 revolutions around the table, and we get a min raise. This is one of those spots where, you're going to be a coin flip again at best, and because of your chip stack, I could see you playing or going all in here, but I could also see justifying a fold here. You do go all in, and there is a call, and you wind up winning with the deuces against a queen high again. Good double up, my brother. That definitely helps out. Now we're looking at ace jack offsuit from the button. Now have 400,000 getting back into this game. Man, what a turnaround. That's crazy. A little bit bigger than 2x. Good pot or good bet size there. Flop is 9 high. You make a continuation bet, and we get a call from Dave the Wave. 3 on the turn, probably didn't help any hand. 8 of hearts hits the flush draw on the river, and Dave comes out and min bets. These odds are incredible. Even with an ace high, you gotta make a call there. And Dave the Wave floated the flop with a king high. Man, you said he was loose. I didn't think he was that loose. That's crazy. Good play there. Now we're looking at ace 8 from the cutoff. Great spot to steal here with it only being 4-handed, and we get a call from Dave the Wave, who's been calling incredibly loose. We wind up hitting the ace. Good check back. I like that. Gonna make a lot of worse hands stick around, and good call. That 9 is a little worrisome because we never know what Dave the Wave could be having over there, and he keeps going with his min bet style. Again, the king kind of hurts us. This is a good spot to check and just try to bluff catch here. He's probably playing the board a lot of the time here, and you're going to wind up catching a ton of bluffs. But he checks it back, and he wound up having 8s, min betting the whole way. Dave the Wave, you shouldn't be playing that way, man, but it works out great for you, TCash. It's awesome. You got to love it, but he's got a little bit of showdown value at the 8s, and he's betting it, which really doesn't make any sense. But how does that player make it to the final table? And now we're looking at king jack offsuit from the big blind, and we get a min raise from the button, and you come back over the top. That's a good spot. You made bet size pretty small, which is going to induce him to call quite a bit. This really isn't the type of hand you want to be playing out of position, so I think I would have made the bet a little bit more intimidating to force more of a fold here from him. You're going to get rid of a ton of his hand range, when you bet a little bit bigger. He's got great odds to call pretty much any 2 cards right here. He does make the pre-flop call, and you wind up flopping top 2. Half pot size bet. That's good. You're going to, get rid of a lot of hands, including some of the smaller flush draws here. And he comes back over the top. You're pretty much pot committed. You can't really get away from it here. And you wind up hitting the flush on the flop. That's a tough one, man. It really is a cooler. You said that in your notes. The only thing I would change is to increase your bet size pre-flop. I think a larger bet is going to get rid of the queen 10 a lot of the time, depending on what type of player this is. If he's the type of player who's going to call any 3-bet, though, there's really no point in 3-betting king jack offsuit out of position against him. You've lost some big hands against Couch Cushion, and you're just hanging hanging around. He can't get rid of you. I love it. Now we're looking at 9-8 suited from the button. Folds to you. Great spot to steal. And Dave the Wave, the incredibly loose player, makes a call from the small blind. You've got a little bit bigger than the pot here on the flop. And you have 2 pair. Dave the Wave comes out and donk bets into you. Easy call with 2 pair. And he bet his king and you filled up on the river. Good double up. Now we're looking at ace jack offsuit from the small blind. So we've got 61,000 in antes and blinds. That leaves you with a little bit less than 10 revolutions around the table. And couch cushions min bets pre-flop. And you jam all in. I think you can play this one a little bit smaller and slower pre-flop. Still leave yourself some room to get away from it. If you make it something, like 130,000 and put some more pressure on couch cushions as well as Dave the Wave, and still leaves yourself some room to get away from this hand if one of these players were to come back over the top of you, depending on how either of them play. I mean, we've already seen Dave the Wave play really loose, so he might make the call with any 2 cards, but then you can still play post flop against him. You do put a lot of pressure with the all-in shove here, but I think you're only going to wind up getting called with hands that beat you, unfortunately. Dave the Wave makes a quick call, and the board flushes. Dave the Wave showed ace queen. Yeah, that's a tough one. Still live in the tourney, man. That's what counts. Now we're down to 3-handed, and TCash has got ace 9 clubs on the button. Got some big ass stacks going on now. Blinds and antes are up to 57,000. Standard button raise here with ace 9 suited, and couch cushions comes back over the top. Pretty deep stacked. I can understand a call here, which is what you do. Wind up flopping the ace. Comes out and bets a third of the pot. Good call. Now you turn your third ace, and you gotta figure you're probably pretty good here. This player could be betting a hand like a smaller pair that you could get to stick around. And he checks. You also check back. Love that slow play. And the river is a jack, and he comes out and bets an incredibly small amount. And I hope you raise him here to try to get some. Nope, just a call. And wow, king 4 suited. Okay, so he's betting his gut shot on the flop, and he 3-bet king 4 suited pre-flop. Okay, I'm taking it. You got to read on this player, and that's why you called with the ace 9, seeing that he 3-bets loose and often. Good play, man. I would have put in a river bet to try to get a little bit more value out of him. He wouldn't have called, obviously, with only a king high, but I think you get a lot of the smaller pairs. Maybe, the jack. Maybe he's got something, like 6s to 10s that could be 3-betting pre-flop to call a small raise there. That's a sick read, man. That really is. I might have gotten rid of that hand pre-flop, depending on this player's stats, but good play. Now we're looking at ace 5 offsuit from the small blind, and you are starting to dominate the tourney. Coming from the bottom straight to the top. Button folds, good spot to seal. Dave the Wave is playing incredibly loose, which we've seen he's calling really loose. So you might want to bet a little bit larger here to put more pressure on him, especially playing an ace reg offsuit. That's one you don't really want to get in out of position against any player, and he's getting great odds to make a call there, so you want to make it a little bit harder for him to make a call. And you flop middle pair, check to Dave. He checks back, turn a gut shot, and you come out and bet a little bit less than half pot. It's a good bet size. I think you're probably in the lead most of the time here, and you're gonna make draws pay for it. So I do like that bet. Chances are this player probably doesn't have a 4 in his hand. Probably just called with maybe an ace high, again with the gut shot, or maybe he had a flush draw on the turn. And you come out and bet a little bit less than a third of the pot. That might actually be exactly a third of the pot. But I like that bet too. It's a good blocker bet. It allows you the chance to get away from this hand if he were to come back over the top, because you're going to be beat a lot of the time then. And he does make a call, and you win it with the 5s. I wonder what the hell he called with there. Maybe you had a 5 as well with the lower kicker. Good play, good pickup. Now we're looking at ace 3 of clubs from the big blind. We are now up to 75,000 in blinds and antes, and the small blind min bets you. I think a call is great here. Maybe even a 3-bet if this player folds enough to 3-bets pre-flop. We've already seen him make some pretty loose calls though, so I do like the call. And you wind up flopping a nut flush draw, and he comes out and bets big into you, and you just make a call. If I were going to be playing this hand, I don't know if I would just make a call. I might raise here and put him on a big decision. I think you're going to get a lot of hands to fold when you raise here, a lot of his range. Anything less than a king might fold. A lot of the draws are going to fold. He still has, twice as many chips as Dave the Wave, and he's not going to want to go out in third place knowing that he has an advantage over Dave the Wave as well. But you do wind up hitting the nut flush on the turn, and he comes out and bets again. You just make a call. Now I understand just a call. You've got the nuts, and the board pairs on the river. It's going to get it all in here no matter what, and he winds up hitting quads on the river. That is sick. Oh my god. There have been some ridiculous hands and a ton of quads in this tournament, man. This game is fucking crazy. Damn, that sucks. Alright, this is what I like to see. Pocket aces on the button, a little bit bigger than 2x, and a raise all in from the big blind. Thank you very much. You can't ask for a better position than this. Winds up showing king 6 suited. That's the second king reg suited that we've seen him 3-bet with. So we know that this player 3-bets incredibly light. Wow. Holy shit, did he have a lot of draws there too. A lot of outs. That was a little bit scary. Good double up. Now we're looking at queen deuce of hearts from the button. Min bets, and we get 2 calls pre-flop. Getting all in from Dave. You're getting great odds on your flush draw, 1 overcard, and you wind up rivering that flush. Nice hand. Peace, Dave. So TCash says, heads up was short and sweet. He didn't even lose a hand. Here's the final hand, 4 hands into heads up play. Ace king offsuit on the button. You guys both have really deep stacks here. Min raise and a 3-bet. We already know the type of hands this player 3-bets. I think this is an easy re-raise. You just jam all in. I like that play with just an ace high right here, putting a ton of pressure on him. And like you said, you think he's content with just second place, and he makes a call, and he winds up showing ace 6 offsuit. That is an incredibly loose call and an easy win, man. That was insane. Great tournament. That was really fun to watch, fun to review. If anyone else has tournaments, hands that they want reviewed, send them to dkpokerchannel@gmail.com. Here is the email address. Congrats, TCash Money, man. That was a sick tournament. Great victory. And I see a bunch more in the future. Can't wait until you send me in the next one. If you guys have not subscribed yet, make sure you do that right now. Hit that subscribe button. Head down to the video description for all the great poker links. If you have any comments, questions, leave those down in the comment section below. I'm sure TCash would love to hear from all of you guys. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Share it with anyone who might be interested. Enjoy your holiday weekend, and be back shortly with another video. But until then, I'll see you guys out on the virtual felt.